I don't think because something is art that people are obliged to pay attention to it, simply because it's the sacred, holy thing called art. There's got to be a reason for them to stop and look at it and to spend time with it. You've got to draw them in, draw them closer so they want to look at it very carefully. Then you can somehow introduce them to something that they weren't prepared for, perhaps. At the time, they might be really puzzled by what it was that they saw. But a couple of days later, they might be thinking about it and suddenly something might have, oh, I think that's about blah, blah, blah. You know, it can be delayed. It doesn't have to be, it's not always immediately apparent. In the late 70s, I made a whole lot of grid paintings where I used masking tape, which you later took off, and interested in controlling the colour very precisely so it had matching tones. There wasn't much variation in darkness. And when you have chroma that's similar, you can create after images and optical effects that people see things that are actually not on the canvas. They actually, the eye, the brain makes lines and shapes. At a certain point I became very suspicious of colour. Colour is such an immediate thing. It's got such emotional connotations to it, often for cultural reasons, not necessarily bodily. You know, a lot of colour is very easy to wind people up, and that was why I retreated from colour. And that's why I moved towards this, starting to get away less and less colour, and then I moved to just using black. And I started to use maps. So I was just soaking in the bath one day and I got the idea, why not paint on maps? I just got this idea, you know how sometimes you just get an idea, bang. And then it started a whole new series, basically. I started thinking about processes and indexes, because I had maps that had indexes underneath, where I thought if you subtract a name of a street, I could leave that on the main body of the street, have an inverse relationship. So what I took off the index I would leave on the main body, and so that all the streets that were listed on the index were blocked out or hidden on the main body of the map. So there was a relationship between the index and the map. I've reached a certain age where I've thought, what the hell, I'm going to enjoy colour. Enjoy sensuality, enjoy my own body. You know, as you get older, you think, well, it's all very well to start being conceptual or thinking about ideas all the time, but why not enjoy the body? Why not enjoy colour and all these qualities that they're not actually out there in the world. We don't know what's out there in the world, but they're certainly in your body. You know, we actually don't know what colour is. You know, there's things that are created in the brain and in the eye, but out in the real world there's actually no such thing as red, blue and yellow. We don't really know what's out there in the world because we have no means of finding out. So almost everything I've done has had a grid, except for these recent works which are deliberately wild and the grid is disintegrated. I saw those cable ties and I saw baskets, and I thought, put the two together and just enjoy the sensuality of plastic colour. I walk from Kingston into town all the time, go around the art galleries. I used to pick stuff up and put it in my pocket, and then I realised you could get different types, different colours, different thicknesses, different sorts of ratcheting systems with those little teeth, you know. I mean, I basically go around the hardware shops and buy those. Cable tie works, it's like making brush marks in space. So for me, those sculptures are a form of painting, except without, not painting, but now it's a form, it's in real space.